Hello everybody, it's Mystic, and welcome back to my library. This is another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, and in the last episode we helped a Charybdis learn how to fly with Emmett Silk and Hermes and Hythlodaeus and Meteon. So we are going to be continuing the story here. Like I said in the last episode, it's a lot of feels because, you know, not only are we getting to learn more about people that we always considered our enemies in the past and learning that they're not really that bad, but we're also realizing that this world that we're in right now is doomed. And like, that sucks because it's so pretty, and you know that all these people are either going to become Ascians or they are going to die, and this is really tough. So yeah, let's continue the feels. A sentimental gift. I fear this discussion may take a while, during which time... Meteon, are you feeling unwell? It's not me, Hermes. It's you. I won't go to the meeting. I'll stay with Celeste. Loath though I am to impose, may I leave Meteon in your care again? That's fine. I'm in your debt, if you'll excuse me. So we know that Meteon is pretty empathic. I'm kind of worried about Hermes right now. Can you help me with something, Celeste? The meeting will make Hermes sad. I want to cheer him up with a flower. Hermes likes flowers the most of all the creations in Elpis. Most creations are expected to be interesting or beautiful or strong, better in some way, but flowers are different. They're designed to suit our emotions, what we feel and want to convey. Hermes likes that. I can't make flowers, so I'll search for one, and I want you to search with me. Let's start here at the 12 Wonders. Well, there's lots of flowers. Meteon is now accompanying you. Okay. Let's find some flowers. Okay. Let's see here. I see a tree in bloom. Actually, before I wander off too much, is there like a chat point anywhere around here? I don't see one. Vibrant purple flowers, bigger than your hands, adore the tree. Adorn. Ooh, so big and bright. I love them. But they might be too bright. You have to think of the recipient. That's what Hermes said. Okay, so not those. Where were the other ones? Here they are. You know, I know that, Hydaelyn, well, I guess not Hydaelyn. I'm assuming that's Venat. I'm wondering when we're going to meet Venat. I assume it's Venat. A tall, slender tree rises before you. You crane your neck to look for flowers. No flowers. If there were apples, we could have covered them in syrup. Let's head outside next. Don't worry, we won't wander far. An array of beautiful flowers grow in the bed, their mix of colors forming a pattern. These would be better for Hermes, but they're hedged in. That means we shouldn't touch them. They're either under observation or poisonous. Any other place should be fine, though. Let's keep looking. Pretty sure he doesn't want one of these. Or maybe he does. I don't know. Set on a tall, thin stalk, the oddly shaped flower is mesmerizing in its undulations. Oh, a conion, a flower that can move. When Hermes wasn't looking, it shot seeds at him. Not a good gift, maybe. But you're good, Celeste, at spotting flowers. We'll find something soon. You spy nothing promising nearby. At best, common-looking grasses with some few tiny flowers. Nothing around here. Ah! Over there, Celeste. Something big. Huge. What? I hope you're not talking about this giant... Are you? I think that's exactly what she's talking about. Why would we give this as a gift? Happy birthday, here's a monster. A terrible stench reminiscent of sodden old boots pervades the air. Without a doubt, the culprit is the morbol-like creature before you. It's an Adonis. The things around its mouth look like petals, but the flowers are the orbs on its head. When Hermes inspected it, it swallowed him up. He didn't leave his room for days. What do you think, Celeste? No, he would not. I'd rather not go near that thing. It's probably not the good sort of memory. So not this one either. Finding a good flower, it's harder than I thought. I'm sorry, Celeste, but could we search a little more? Maybe as far as the fields over there? I'll pick something after that, I promise. Well, thank you for not picking the giant morbol. I appreciate it. Lush green fields stretch out before you, ending where the sky begins. Aw, there's nothing. The shiny thing over there, what could it be? I think we might have found something. Oh, it's these again. Oh, Elpis flowers, they're here too. Hermes likes and dislikes them at the same time. Like me, they're entelecchies. Like me, they feel his pain and turn dark. That's only for Hermes, though. For others, they're always white and bright. Aw, so that means that Hermes is really dealing with some stuff. Truly, the flower was dark in your home. Then, do you have it too? A dark emotion? I've known the pain and sorrow of loss. I've felt great fury and frustration. I've been plagued by doubt and anxiety. I dare say I have a few. I mean, there's so many I can choose here, but I'm gonna say that. I see. Hermes has known the same. That feeling, the feeling that a part of you is gone, again and again, but no one notices. Please, Celeste, won't you lend it to me? Your pain and sorrow? I want you to make the flower dark in front of Hermes. He's been in a dark place since before he created me. He needs to know that he isn't here alone. Others are sad too. Oh my god. As somebody that has suffered from depression and anxiety, like this hits close to home, because like when you're in that state, you feel like you're completely alone. Even though you're not, you feel like it. And it is nice to know that people have the same struggles and that they're there for you. Like, oh, truly, you'll do it. Thank you, Celeste. Thank you. It means more to me than I can say. I can't wait to see how Hermes reacts. Let's go back and fetch him. It seems they're still talking. Let's wait until they've finished. Oh, it's getting dark.
Hermes!
Oh, you were waiting for me.
You've finished talking?
Yes, we've come to a decision. My thanks for keeping Meteion company. Emet-Selch and Hythlodaeus have already retired to their rooms. There is room for you too, if you would follow me.
Wait! I want to show you something first.
This place is so beautiful, and it sucks that it's gonna just all be gone.
Elpis flowers?
Go on. You're not the only one, Hermes. Others feel sad too. You're not alone.
I see Meteion has shared much with you.
Yeah. Okay,
May
he's
we
hot
talk a
too.
moment?
What the hell? They all are. Why? Aww.
I do not think it wrong that we live for the star, that we strive to make it a better place. And yet, in carrying out my duties here, there are times when I am plagued by doubt. Do you recall what Hythlodaeus said when we first spoke of my nomination? Death is the privilege of those who have fulfilled their purpose, a choice they embrace of their own free will, and when they depart, it is always beautiful. Perhaps it is, but only for man. Creations that he deems useless are discarded with nary a second thought. Some scarcely born into the world, afforded a handful of breaths before life and potential are abruptly extinguished.
Explains why he's been so adamant about not just scrapping projects.
We make an effort to spare them the pain, but they sense what awaits. Rage and anguish and cower and fear. And it is not beautiful. Yet no one cares. No one. So fixated are we upon the duty that we do not pause to question the method. Pain and suffering, confusion and despair, writ plain in the eyes of those poor creatures. Yet no one sees. We turn a blind eye and carry on in blissful ignorance. Not amiss, and always Always the blossoms shine pure and white.
Which means that nobody else cares but him.
A contradiction so blatant I could scream. Want to scream. How can you all accept this aberration? Then I wonder, am I the aberration for thinking thus? And I am filled with dread.
You seem to be the only one with empathy and sympathy.
But now I know I'm not alone. Not the only one for whom the flowers weep. I won't ask what you thought as you kneeled beside the Elpis, or if you only did it at Meteion's insistence. Nevertheless, I thank you. To know that you too have experienced suffering is a comfort.
Glad I could be of service. Let's have no more brooding. Oh, I could tell you all about suffering. I'm just gonna say this one. I don't want to, like, one-up. Like, there's no reason for one-upmanship here. Like, let's just... Yeah.
To so willingly lend an ear to ease my burden. You are a strange one. The stars in the heavens. Know you what they are? Though it is too far to tell, each glittering light could be a world not unlike Aetheris. A world filled with life. So many stars, so many lives. For us, there may be no higher purpose than to live for our world. But what of the other living beings out there? What is it that gives their lives meaning? That drives them day after day after day? To pose that question to our undiscovered cousins, I created beings of dynamis, who can traverse the vast emptiness between the stars. Meteion and her sisters. Aye, sisters. She has a great many of them, and they have already departed on their journey, traveling to one star and then the next in search of life. As one might expect, exploration on such a grand scale is rife with difficulties, and thus far I've naught to show for it. But I have faith that we will make some manner of discovery ere long. And when we do, I should be glad to share our findings with you, in gratitude for your kindness. It's getting rather late. We had best find our beds. It would not do for both of us to be sleep-deprived on the morrow.
Here's a question. Because I don't know if it's been... sorry. I don't know if it's been mentioned yet. Does Aetheris have dragons? Or is one of Meteion's sisters the ones that discovered them? Because I know that dragons are from another planet. They talked about this. When did they talk about this? It was when we freed the dragon in Az's Law. I thought that we talked about it then because we were going to go and fight. My brain is not working with names this morning, but you know who I mean. And I'm wondering if maybe him sending out Meteion's sisters is how the dragons discover Aetheris in the first place.
Come, Meteion. Let us head back.
All right.
What's up? Bahamut. my brain really... I'm so bad at names. I'm great at remembering faces. I am horrible at remembering names. So, expected a lot of, like, me not remembering anyone's name. It's very bad. An all too brief interlude, perhaps, but it is time I attend to my task. As Emmett Silk and Hythlodaeus are aware, we reached a verdict regarding the fate of the Lycaeons. 7 were created for observation, and all 7 must be unmade. Duros has followed the correct protocols, and as chief overseer, I can find no fault in his judgment. The Lycaeons would disrupt the natural order, ravaging and consuming other species until they themselves starve and perish. They cannot be released into the wild, and they cannot be allowed to remain here in Elpis. I intend to petition the Bureau of the Architect to have the concept preserved as a restricted purpose hazardous life form. Hythlodaeus has pledged to support me in his endeavor. Yet whatever the Bureau decides, the existing Lycaeons have served their purpose. I'm very curious to what these look like, because I don't think we've seen them yet. Duros has already isolated the creatures and is preparing to carry out the necessary measures. I will join him forthwith. It is my duty to witness the conclusion to this study. If you are resolved, then we have but to accompany you. Of course, let us be off then. We return to the main aisle. Oh, I guess I am going to see what they look like. Because I'm very curious. What is this species that is wreaking so much havoc? Wait. Fire. They said that the victims of these creatures were burned, right? Could they be dragons? Well, we didn't create dragons in Aetheris. They came from space. They were space dragons. We talked about this in like 5.5 or 5.55. It was a later one. I don't remember which one it was. Are they dragons? Wait a minute. Wait. Hold up. Those look suspiciously like Bahamut. I'm confused. Okay, all right. Let's just get the story here, because those look like Bahamut. Doros, are you hurt? What happened here? They caught me off guard. I had them bound with ethereal shackles, but they became frenzied, even more so than usual, and broke free. I was able to stop 4. The other 3 escaped. I see them. 2 have taken to the air above the 12 Wonders. The last is up ahead, lurking in the fields. You and Celeste handle that one. The pair in the sky you can leave to me. If this is how it must end, then so be it. I will render assistance to Emmett Silk, unneeded though it is. Medion, you are to stay here with Doros. But Hermes... The Lycaeons must be reverted. I would spare you their pain, and mine. This is my burden, not yours, but if you are intent on helping, then please follow my lead. I am so confused. I am so confused. I have so many questions. Those absolutely look like Bahamut. I appreciate your help and lament that it is necessary. There it is, our quarry, within striking distance at present, but if it feels threatened, it may flee beyond our reach. Here is my plan. You will approach slowly, in full view, and draw the Lycaeon's attention. Now, I warn you, its abilities are as fiery as its temperament. Once it spots you, it will unleash orbs of flame. But fear not, by any measure you are more than equal to the task. Withstand the onslaught for a few brief moments, and that will give me time to catch it unawares. Ready? Let us begin. Well, I guess it doesn't look exactly like Bahamut, but it definitely has a dragon-like appearance.
Now. Oh. Forgive me. Please, forgive me. May you and your kin find peace. Wherever your souls may drift in the underworld, may you find tranquil seas. Be not forgotten, in concept endure, to reclaim form and one day live again. Serve not the star, or any purpose save your own. Live again, if that be your desire. Hate, if that be your want. We are worthy. But leave your suffering behind. Lay down your burdens, be born anew. Fly high. Fly free.
I feel like this is the creation of dragons. Could I be completely wrong here? They came from another star, but he literally just said, find another star.
Join the convocation, Hermes.
Now is not the time, buddy.
You do not belong here.
Leave to replace another. To be replaced. It changes nothing. Tell me, do you think it right that we sacrifice all these lives for the sake of the star? And when the star has reached perfection, what then? If all who are satisfied choose to die, shall we all die in satisfaction? I do not know. Were I to take up the seat of Van Daniel, it would be tantamount to approving my predecessor's death. I do not know if it is right. And to be torn by such thoughts, I do not know if I am fit to represent mankind.
Hermes! Please don't be angry. It hurts so.
Forgive me, if you would still consider me in spite of everything. I beg some time to gather my thoughts. Meanwhile, Hythlodaeus, I fear I must trouble you to attend to the others.
'Tis no trouble at all. Take as long as you require.
And you, my friend, I pray you find that which you seek.
I expect we have some few matters to discuss. Shall we return to the 12 Wonders for a time?
Aye.
The incident is resolved and life in Elpis continues as normal, or ends as the case may be. Rationally speaking, I understand Hermes' argument. No matter how well deserved the rest, there is a pang of sadness when a colleague leaves us. Yet never has a departure caused me such grief as Hermes appears to feel. What must it be like to experience such torment? Where to now? If there is anywhere you would like to visit before we leave, I should be glad to show you the way. Hermes has not yet outright refused his position with the convocation, merely postponed the decision. As such, I may well resume my assessment. If we cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. Ever the pragmatist, then allow me to remain at your humble guide. And what of you, Celeste? Will you continue along with us? Wonderful. Our fellowship travels on unbroken. I say we explore another part of Elpis and see what new encounters there are to be had. If you would follow me, we will first head back towards Anagnorisis. I still can't say that word. From here, we follow the path northwards to Natanius. There we will find one of the Neus, which facilitate travel between the islands of Elpis. First-time travelers must be accompanied by someone with the requisite permission, which I have previously been granted. We only need to use the device together once, and henceforth you will leave to use it freely. Shall we? Here we are, Natanius. This Neus will take us to the Calamelios Zephyros, the western island. That's it right there, looming large over us. Step this way and we can soon admire the view from above. Is this going to give me ether sickness, like...
I present to you Calamelios Zephyros. Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poiton Oikos. Right then. Let's begin by... Well, an Arrhaeus. How delightful.
And what, pray tell, is that?
I don't know.
Ah, that's a new species of shark. We approved the concept but a few days ago.
Shark? On land?
Sharks are among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept. At first, they were largely orthodox, consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact. And then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight, another superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst, concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end, I couldn't deny their passion. Here we are.
Hythlodaeus? Bud? Is that Venat? Yes, it is.
That was too close. Are you unharmed? Well now, if it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
Venat, that we should meet you here.
As I mentioned earlier, the better part of the convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star. Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work. Venat is her name, and she is the previous Azem.
What? Yes, exactly, me. What? Look at my face! Are you kidding? What?
It has been a while, Hythlodaeus. You look well. Less so, Emmet Selk. I dare say the lines upon your brow have both deepened and doubled in number. A shame for one so young. You must make an effort to frown less often.
Smile more, you'll be prettier. I love it.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is she, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day.
That
I
sounds
should
like
be glad
me.
to share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
Oh, you know I am. Now then, you are?
That's a good question.
I say, have you perchance come from the future?
Maybe?
I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you. Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
Butterfly effect. It's the butterfly effect.
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
A traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether.
That sounds rather like the Blessing of Light. Does it protect you from enthrallment by primals, by any chance? Do they even know what primals are? I feel like that hasn't happened yet. I'm gonna go with this one.
I see you are not ignorant to its presence. And while there are many protective spells, the one you bear is unmistakably mine.
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
Is it?
What is it? Are you unable to speak of the matter?
I mean, no. But I probably shouldn't.
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present.
As much as I would like to.
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours.
Yes. Thank you.
How very exciting! I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown, and there's naught more unknown than the future.
True.
Until a moment finally arrives, we cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge. So you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest.
Yeah, things are bad.
Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
This feels very butterfly effect. Like, am I gonna become my own grandmother or something?
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself.
I mean, you never asked.
As a representative of the convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
Yeah, about that. Look at his face. He is so not happy with us right now.
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation? I've been working here for some days now at an old friend's behest. If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Poiton Oikos.
Look at me. I'm like, I gotta leave now. Goodbye.
We were meant to meet. I am certain of it. Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly, and sent you unto myself in the past. It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to. And quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
My apologies, but before we move along, a colleague has tasked me with a matter which I'd rather not leave unresolved. It involves finding a certain concept-engraved crystal, and the quick-fingered Aureus, which made off with it. Oh, it was the little thing that was running around. An Aureus, you say? I think we might have seen the culprit before being distracted by that business with the shark. Would you like us to follow its ethereal trail? That would, of course, lead only to the Aureus. There is no guarantee that it hasn't dropped or stashed away the crystal you seek. Please, even that much would be enormously helpful. While you are hunting down the thief, I can follow behind and scour the forest floor just in case. Could I ask to join you to join? Could I ask you to join the search? I would appreciate another pair of eyes to cover in the land to the west of here. Many thanks. There's a small bridge leading into Point in Oikos. Let us meet up there when we have exhausted our efforts. So, something that this place is starting to remind me of. My husband and I were watching an anime a while back called Heaven's Design Team. And it was basically like people in heaven creating different species to populate the world with. And like they would come up with all these zany ideas. Like they were trying to make I don't remember. They were trying to do something and it had like too long of a neck, so it wasn't getting enough oxygen to its brain. And they just kept coming up with all these like really zany ideas, and then God would either approve it or disapprove it. It was like a funny kind of comedy anime. But Elpis is starting to remind me a little bit of that. Our last searcher returns. I'm afraid the Aureus no longer had the crystal, nor was I able to find it as I followed in its wake. I don't suppose you fared any better. Actually, as a matter of fact, I did. The crystal! Well done. Wonderful. Now I can focus on your tale without that missing concept nagging in my mind. Have you always had a knack for finding things? Actually, yes. I've often been asked to do so, yes. Oh, you too. Some of us seem destined to always be searching for ourselves and for others. Long ago, when I held the seat of Azam, I was forever trekking back and forth across the star in search of answers to people's problems. This sounds very familiar. Naturally, the need for such journeys has lessened considerably since I entrusted the position to my whimsical successor. Yet I am still eager to come running should an old acquaintance or new interest require my personal attention. That is what brings me to Elpis, in fact. Many times has my presence been requested, my opinion sought concerning the habitat of this or that creation. Agreeing to help locate that missing crystal was a minor distraction, which now promises to become a major revelation. How strange and wonderful it is that the way one thing leads to another. Wouldn't you agree? Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, 'tis time I return this stolen property. If you would go on ahead to my accommodation, I will join you as soon as I have attended to that task. Follow the path straight ahead to the building at the top of the slope. I have the entire place to myself, so we can speak without fear of being disturbed or overheard. Welcome to my temporary abode. Please make yourself at home while I put on some tea. Oh, they still have tea in the past. Tea sounds good right now, actually.
Ah, a wonderful aroma. I feel more relaxed already.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like. Now then, will you tell us your tale?
It's a long one. I hope you're ready. A calamity called the Final Days has befallen the world. The world has been sundered, broken into shards. Mankind is being forced to flee the star. I don't even know. Like, I mean, the sundering might be something to talk about, but also the Final Days. I'll start with the Final Days.
Why don't you start from the beginning?
Yeah, there's a lot. I hope you're ready. Heidelin doesn't even exist yet. This is wild. But literally, am I causing this to happen by telling them this? Because none of this has come to pass yet.
Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
I talked about that very quickly, honestly. There was a lot. It was like, what, 4 expansions worth of content to talk about?
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous. What of you, Venat?
Not knowing the precise details of the first final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Heidelin? Circumstances change, of course, but it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No, there must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures. Then there is the Elpis flower, which I said would serve as a guide.
That is true. You did say that.
That it's of import to your mission is plain. But your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance. But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
Might it not be simply thus? In the future, whence she came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital and Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
True, true. I note also that Heidelin did not specify a point in time to which she must return.
This is like, because they never heard the name Heidelin before I said it. Time travel is so wild. Like, I don't even know, like, did I literally just give them the idea for all of this?
By this, it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
This is quite a puzzle. And we do not have all the pieces.
Hardly any. But we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight. Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Heidelin is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Listen to yourself. Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale? Well, I will not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity. I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal madman.
I'm sorry, but you actually did kind of redeem yourself, so
To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this zodiac in the highest esteem. Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory.
you had a lot of years to, like, think about it, though.
Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable? Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me.
And that is probably why you did it.
But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren. You do not know me. I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again.
Emmett Selk, wait!
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them.
Dynamis is key to all of this. Hermes and Meteon are somehow involved. I'm still trying to make sense of it all. God, I don't even know which one to choose because literally all of these are important. But I think Hermes and Meteon are somehow involved.
Hermes and his creation Meteon, you say? If Dynamis is the self-same energy as Akasha, as it likely seems, then those two may well be at the center of the calamity to come. This warrants further investigation. With that settled, 'tis time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete, and you will have your answer. And suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest.
Thank you.
Have faith. If Emmett Selk is the man Azum described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
Shall we begin our investigations then? I'm acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the chief overseer of Elpis. One man, of the man himself, I know only that of which is common knowledge. Thus I should suggest we fall back on the tried and true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more of Hermes and Meteon, and I have a good idea of where we might begin. Alright. I am going to end this episode here. We will look more into Hermes and Meteon in the next episode. This is so wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. It really is. I have to keep playing because I was only going to record one episode today, but that is not going to happen. I need to see more of this. So I will see you all. I'll see you all in a little bit. This, you know how the episodes work by now, but yeah, I have to keep going. So anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. You can follow me on social media, which I have linked down below. You can also become a Fan House subscriber or a YouTube member, which is like an optional monetary monthly support thing. But again, never required, completely optional. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.